So yesterday on NBA Countdown, Kendrick Perkins, one of our favorite analysts on TV, I'm sure, said that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world for sure, but he's not the most valuable player to his team. To be completely honest with you, I didn't think I was going to be making another video about Jokic in the MVP race since I already made one last Saturday. You can check it out, link in the description. But this take makes absolutely zero sense to me, at least.
Tiger is
No, it's not voting. Look. Jokic is the best player in the world. We get that. He's not the most valuable. It is SGA to his team, to what he's done. And to add to what Richard was saying, he doubled down on it.
Now, let's just do a quick rundown. Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are the two clear MVP frontrunners. Are the two favorites to win MVP. They both have had absolutely terrific, historic NBA seasons, and there has been a lot of debate as to which player should win MVP at the end of the season. Now, for me personally, I do believe that it should be Nikola Jokic as the MVP for this season, but, you know, anyone that says SGA, it's not like I don't understand where they're coming from, because, like I said, he's been phenomenal this season. But to say that he's been more valuable to his team than Nikola Jokic, that is just insane to me. And there's a few reasons for that. Reason number one is just the simple fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder are a better team than the Denver Nuggets. It's not close. Now, of course, that's in large part to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and how he's been playing, but the team around him is just better, especially defensively. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the best defensive team in the league, and it's for players like Jalen Williams, SGA, Alex Caruso. They've done such a great job at locking up teams. And again, the supporting cast around SGA is so good. Meanwhile, on the Denver Nuggets, they're like 19th in the league in defensive rating. They're not great defensively. And on offense, you just never know what to expect with this team outside of Jokic. Aaron Gordon has been in and out of the lineup because of injuries, but Jamal Murray, sometimes he wants to play like an all-star, sometimes he doesn't. I don't even know what Michael Porter Jr. is at this point. Like, I really thought this guy was going to be a very talented and great scorer, but he's been so up and down. And without checking, I want you to tell me who the Denver Nuggets backup center is. Now, in fairness to Kendrick Perkins, he also brings up the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder are the number one seed in the West. I think they were the number one seed last year as well, and that should play a big part in the conversation for SGA being MVP. I get that. It is not easy to be the number one seed in your conference, especially in the Western Conference, that I think most of us would agree is harder than the East right now. But my argument towards the seeding of it is if you have a good enough team around you, especially when it comes to the Thunder being so great defensively, then that kind of takes away a little bit from what SGA is doing, because in a way, his team makes it a little bit easier for him to perform this way. Whereas in the case of the Denver Nuggets, they're the fourth seed in the West. It's not like they're in the play-in or anything like that. They're right there as a top 4 seed right now. And that's when their defensive rating is 19th. That's the only reason why the seeding argument kind of falls a little bit flat for me. But again, I understand it. So yeah, the numbers and the eye test literally tell you that the Thunder are just a much better team than the Nuggets overall. That's not really a debate. So then, of course, we have to look at statistics. And obviously, we've talked about the stats between these two players for their season averages already. Nikola Jokic is averaging a triple-double, and if he ends the season averaging a triple-double, he would only be the third player in NBA history to do that, which is unreal. SGA is leading the league in scoring with 32 points per game, but Jokic has 30. It's not like he's that far off. Then it comes to assists and rebounds. Jokic just dwarfs SGA. But those are just very basic, surface level stats. So, they're the stats that we all see and we all understand. So what about the advanced stats? See, I love advanced stats because they do paint a broader picture of how a player is performing and how they're helping with their team's success. And in that regard, it's Jokic, and it's not even close. So what I have pulled up here is all the advanced statistics that absolutely matter when it comes to figuring out how valuable a player is in conjunction with how much they're helping their team win. Player efficiency rating, or PER, is one of my favorites because it takes all of the main stats into account: points, rebounds, assists, steals, all that kind of stuff, and kind of like calculates and formulates it into one thing that shows a player's greatness, at least for me. And at the top of the list, of course, is Nikola Jokic, which, by the way, Jokic is already broken the record for PER in a single season a couple years ago, and if he stays with this 33.3 that he has, he would break his record again. Not to take anything away from SGA because he has a 30.8, which is crazy. Then we go to win shares, where Jokic, again, is number one. But to be fair, it's a 9.9 win share versus a 9.8 that SGA has. So Take that what you will. Now, on offensive win shares, it's Jokic again with 7.7, but SGA is right there too with 6.5. Defensive win shares, that's SGA, and I don't even think Jokic is close here. Then we go to win shares per 48 minutes, where again, Jokic is on top with SGA right behind him. Then we go to probably the biggest indicator of how well a team performs when you're on the court versus off, and that is box plus minus. And with that being said, Nikola Jokic has a 14 box plus minus, which would be the highest in NBA history by a mile. That alone showcases how important Jokic is to the Denver Nuggets as a whole. And again, SGA is right behind him. You see the theme here? Because you can go to offensive box plus minus. Jokic is number 1, SGA is behind him. You can go to defensive box plus minus. Jokic is number 1, SGA is right behind him. Even for value over the replacement player, Nikola Jokic is on top with SGA right behind him. And that's kind of what I'm driving at here. This is exactly what I said in my Jokic video last week. I understand that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been amazing this season, but Jokic has been better. Like I just showed you, in almost every single advanced metric, almost every single advanced statistic, Jokic is higher than SGA. But let's just say you want to forget all that. Let's say you're not a stats guy. You don't care about stats whatsoever. You just want to look at the eye test. You want to look at how good a player is playing and how well a team is playing with them or without them. And to me, it's not only clear that the Denver Nuggets are a worse team than the Oklahoma City Thunder. If they didn't have Jokic, I don't even know if they'd be in the play-in right now. If they were in the play-in, it'd be like a 10th or 9th seed, maybe. The Thunder, even without SGA, I think would still be fine. I still think they'd be maybe a top 6 or 7 seed. And let's also keep this in mind. Chet Holmgren hasn't played for most of the season because he got hurt, and the Thunder are still doing so well. Can you imagine how much better they'd be if Chet was still playing? So, no, I completely disagree with Kendrick Perkins on this. Not only is Nikola Jokic the best player in the world, he is the most valuable player in the league right now. But look, we still have a good chunk of the season left. A lot of things can change and happen. Right now, SGA may not be my personal MVP, but if he keeps going crazy and maybe if Jokic falls off a little bit, then he could. But as it stands currently with what Nikola Jokic is doing, and if he continues to do this for the rest of the year, he's winning his 4th MVP. So that's all I have to say about it, but please let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you think is more valuable? Who do you think is the MVP? And until next time, peace.